Hi, Sean.
Hello.
So, have you ever felt lonely to the point where it affects your daily mood or self-esteem? You can be honest. I'm writing it down, so it won't be in.
Yeah, probably. But, that's not really, a Sean thing to do. So it's, the way I'd explain it is it's, I was definitely ultra lonely at one point. But I just... But it was a weird situation because I had zero friends in school, but I had friends outside of school. So it was I was never I never felt worthless, or I never felt like I sucked, but I felt you just feel rejected and bad because it's
Makes you feel like it's your fault.
yeah, and you obviously that affects you, but it was never I was always it was weird because it didn't. I felt like it's affected me secretly, not I was never crying at the time. I was never oh, I'm so.
Yeah.
But
Do you think you realised it affected you after it got better?
I realised it affected me because of who I became after, in a positive way, and the way it changed me. But and I was always because obviously I have quite a unique personality, and I was where did this come from? Most people aren't like this, and I think it just came from just being socially not that guy.
What do you think loneliness would look like to you? So, in an abstract sense, what do you think that looks like? Say if you were...
Obviously blue.
Yeah, blue.
Blue, not black and white, but low saturation. I also think it doesn't have to be it doesn't have to be isolation though. It doesn't have to be it's not matching not matching the speed of everybody else. So you can be in a busy place, but it's someone who's moving differently to other people. So it's someone, or everyone's standing still and they're walking on their own, or everyone's walking and they're standing still. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of just separation.
Yeah. Do you think you can feel lonely because of yourself?
What does that even mean?
Do you think you can internally make yourself feel lonely because you miss a part of yourself?
I think yeah, you can definitely make yourself feel lonely when you don't accept what is around you.
In my experience, yes, I had loneliness with craving people. I've craved relationships, and that's made me feel lonely and feel insecure about myself. But I've found that most of my loneliness came from within, from the sense that I felt so lonely because I didn't fill the gap. People who enjoy being them by themselves, they wouldn't consider that loneliness. No. But when I really...
You were uncomfortable with yourself.
Yeah, I was uncomfortable being by myself, so I had to have someone else with me at all times to make me feel not alone, because I made myself feel so lonely.
For me... Wait, what was the question again? Because I had an answer.
Do you think you can make yourself feel lonely?
When you... I think it's a lot of the time when you dislike... It's like what you said. When you dislike yourself, you can hang out with... Sometimes for me, it's if I dislike something about myself, if I dislike something... Oh, sorry.
Shit, Sean, it might be...
When you dislike yourself, it can be so uncomfortable. You're constantly thinking about yourself. You're obviously people say self-conscious, but self-conscious just means thinking about yourself. You're so in your own world that you feel alone when you're with other people because you're just consumed with you're with yourself.
Yeah.
And I think that's the most common form of loneliness.
Yeah, 100%.
When people don't, it's not that the people have no friends, but it's that they're so uncomfortable with themselves that they can't feel at ease with people.
And they can't find the person who can give that to themselves, but the only person who can give that to themselves is yourself. And
you're looking for I definitely have experienced this. It's I'm a unique person, and I'm I just have more, and whatever. I just I don't get along with everybody. I don't not everyone likes me, but I don't really like a lot of the people I meet, and I've always blamed that on other people, but I know it's my fault. And it does make me feel lonely not feeling like I'm connected to other people. I have my best friend Alex, but other than that, I don't feel super connected. I mean, there's a few people, but I don't feel super socially
involved.
Yeah, because because I can go to a party. I'm not a loser. I can go out and people want me there, but I just feel I'm just not I feel lonely there because it's just like I'm just not in the same world as other people.
Headspace,
Yeah, so it's just like I'm just
Do you think social media increases loneliness?
100
and the fear of missing out?
100 trillion %. I think the fear of missing out is actually the less important thing.
Mm.
I think what it does is it like gives you like a barely sufficient replacement for connection.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of like, I mean, if you think about it in a relationship, it's like porn.
Mm-hmm.
Like porn gives you like, or like it like gives you like a tiny amount of what you can have with like a real person, but that's enough to just like get rid of those urges. And the same thing as like urges to, or like needs to connect with people. You can kind of like talk to someone on you can text someone, and it's like you are talking to somebody. It's like it like stops you from just feeling totally alone, but doesn't motivate you to be forced to go out and meet new people. And there's a whole thing about how, you know, young people like Gen Z aren't drinking as much and aren't doing as much drugs, and you think that's a good thing, but that's what but drinking, I don't drink. I've been thinking about this a lot. It's like drinking is how people connect. People
And
go
smoking.
somewhere and smoking and everything like that, and I don't do any of those things, and I don't want to, but it's like I always think, oh, if I just drunk, I'd have so many more friends, because you have a place you can go and it makes you get along with people. And I feel like because everything's online, you're just getting a watered down version of real connection, and you're not like properly connecting. And with the thing about like, I don't know what you called it, but it's like feeling like you're missing out. I don't feel that, because I'm like I'm comfortable with myself, but I totally understand it, because people who are not that way, it must be the most horrible thing to feel like that. I know so many. I think it's so many people experience this. The way it works for girls is like very local, and it's like, oh my god, Emily and Julia at the Ivy, and they didn't invite me. But with boys, I actually think it's more like looking at like celebrities or like rich guys, and like oh, I'm 18 and I've got a boat and I've got a thing and I've got a thing and I've got a thing, and that just makes you feel insecure and lonely. And it's like, because I don't think that's the way I think boys are more affected by it. I don't know many boys who are like, oh my god, like John T's gone out to the bar. But guys feel it more about like, oh, I'm missing out on like this epic like life.
Yeah, I do think the way that like the public display of achievements can make you feel quite sort of like, sometimes I feel quite unfulfilled and like I'm an underachiever, because I'm not like I'm unemployed. I don't have a load of savings. Like, I think sometimes when I see like all my friends tell me like, oh, I'm going to Bali this summer, like I'm going travelling, it does make me think a bit like, oh, like should I be doing that? Like, well, but I don't have the money to do that. Does that mean that I'm like not as good? Do you know what I think it's okay. I think it's okay to 100%, and I wouldn't say that affects me.
Yeah,
but like I know people do get affected.
I think
by
it's
that.
okay to feel insecure about you. Like, I mean, like one of the ways that I dealt with loneliness is by being really capable at the stuff I want to do. Like, it's just like the way I dealt with feeling lonely is I made, like when I was in school, the only thing I thought about was like either what I'm gonna do at the skate park later with my friends, or like how epic my life in the future is going to be. And I feel like the way because I don't mean like, a lot of people say, oh, I was lonely, but there was a point, of course, like I had friends outside of school, but there was a point where in school, so 6 hours a day, I had nobody to speak to, and everyone disliked me. And it was weird, because it was like, just everyone hated me. When I was like from like 13 to like 16, I didn't really have any friends in school, and it was like, actually not 16, like 15, and then it was like, the only way I dealt with that is just by being so excited about my future, because I definitely felt insecure when I was in school. I was like, these people don't like me, I'm a loser, and I kind of was just like, well, I'm going to become someone that they can't tear down. So that's what I did. So I feel so comfortable with myself now. I think I'm the most comfortable person with myself who's our age that I know, because I've just like it's not a front, it's like I've actually built like a thing. So I think it's okay to feel insecure, and it's like you being like, oh, I wish I could go to Bali, like that could be a positive thing. Like, oh, I could go get, like, what if it makes you want to go and work, and then you have this epic time in Bali, and it's like, I don't think that's as big of a deal, but I think that
turn your expectations into a reality.
Yeah, but the actual big thing is when it stops you from doing stuff. Like I think it's more the social, like they're always doing stuff and I'm not always doing stuff, because it's like that's a motivating thing to me. It's like, oh, I want that, let's go get it. But it's like, for
some people it can go either way. It's like gym progress, isn't it? You see people at at the gym on TikTok and they're all muscly, that can either make you feel insecure about your body or it can motivate you to look like that.
Yeah, and you can, I would always say choose a look like that, but I think the one which is more difficult is the one of like seeing people hanging out, just not doing anything that costs money or it's difficult, just like, oh, they've gone around their house. I mean, that's what I felt, because I remember leaving school and everyone would be like, are you going here, are you going here? And I'd hear them all like, oh, are we going to go to this person's house, we're going to this person's house. I wasn't going anywhere, and I wouldn't see anybody, and if it was raining, I'd be screwed because I can't skateboard, so I just wouldn't see anybody. And like in the winter, because I wouldn't talk to my friends from skate park online, it's like we would just skate, so in the winter I just didn't see anybody, and it was so crazy, it was so bad. And like
the consuming feeling of loneliness is horrible.
it's just weird, it's just like
It's
it just makes you think about yourself too much.
It's all the negative emotions in one emotion.
Yeah, and I think it's
because I think from my personal experience, you experience anger, sadness, like
grief.
Everything. Yeah,
like it feels like you're like like someone's
grieving,
died. It's weird.
Yeah, but it's almost like the person inside.
It's so unnatural. It's so unnatural to be on your own, because in the jungle, if you're on your own, if you're on your own in the jungle, you're gonna die. You need humans to survive. Like the way we.
Yeah, we're tribal.
We're tribal, so it's like, and in the jungle, your body is telling you you're on your own. You're gonna die. You have nobody. It's like it's really freaky. And I think one thing that people like, I've done it. I think I've dealt with it really well. And it's definitely like changed how I am, and there's always some negative sides to it. It's maybe a bit like judgy and a bit rude and a bit like unemotional, or not unemotional, not empathetic, and just like a bit of a dick sometimes. But it's like, I think I've dealt with it better than a lot of people do. But only because I have such good friends outside of school and such good parents. When you have no one to like.
Do you think that through your experience through school, you've sort of deemed the public, the people around you, as being,
bad? Yeah,
as the same environment of that when you're at school. So, for example, people who you like engage with now are the same sort of types of people that you were at school with.
I would say my like first impression of someone is like don't like every time I meet somebody, because I was like especially people my own age. Like I've always got along with people who are older than me or younger than me or whatever, because anyone my age I just instantly feel like oh, they're trying to get me, because I wasn't like. Yeah, I was bullied when I was in school, and they were like, and I was just felt like because people were trying to get me. So
the thing is with school is it's such a captive environment,
and you can't leave.
That if no one in the school likes you, that might be 30 people in your class. If they don't like you, the whole world is 30 people. Do you know what I mean? But what people say is look at the bigger picture, in the sense that, say there's one lesbian and 30 boys.
Yeah.
There is no one for you to date.
Yeah, I understand this. Yeah,
do you know what I mean? But there are so many people.
Yeah, and this is what it was.
And you just have to find your people.
And this is what it was like. It was like, because I'm a unique person.
But I know exactly how that feels, because I was bullied throughout secondary school as well.
And it was like people. I was like physically bullied when I was like younger, because I was quite smaller, and then. But it was like, well, that wasn't as bad as like when everyone just didn't want to speak to you.
Yeah.
That's way worse, because when everyone's annoying you and
avoiding
being mean,
someone is
when everyone's
worse.
being mean to you, it's just like you're like, oh fuck you, like
at least
like you're angry,
and
it's like, and you're just like, yeah, like it's just he's a dick. But when everyone's just like doesn't care about you, it's just like, that's even worse. It's like, I think when you feel alone, the reason it's so detrimental is because it makes you think about yourself. Because like when nobody likes you, the only solution is to change yourself, which is a great thing. Changing yourself is always the right thing to do, but you haven't got a clear judgment of who you are, because what's being reflected towards you isn't you. It's like they might be reflecting like the fact that you're a bit awkward, and that's why they're bullying you. And you should change that, but they're reflecting to you that you're the most awkward or horrible person in the world, and that you need to totally change your personality. So then people end up becoming totally different people. Yeah.
But exactly, and also when you're getting bullied, you're not only getting judgment of yourself reflected onto you, it's also the judgment of other people. Like for example, if you've got like a boy who lives with his divorced parents who's angry and upset about that, then also he projects that onto you.
Yeah.
So not only are you getting like 30% of what he's saying might be true about yourself, but then also from that person you've now taken on a whole load of judgment, which is actually just him projecting his emotions. Do you know what I mean? And I think that can be so detrimental to like young people.
But I think the most important thing about loneliness that people like don't think about is that like it's probably when you're getting bullied, there's probably a reason. And I think the way to
Yeah, but also in school, there's everyone conforms, and if
Yeah,
you
yeah,
don't
yeah.
conform, which I didn't,
yeah.
if you don't conform, then you get bullied.
But-
That's not your fault.
But here's the
for
thing.
not
Here's the
conforming.
thing. So I don't conform now,
No, neither do I.
and I didn't conform then.
Mm.
But I didn't conform by being an emo or whatever. It's just the way I act, and like that I think I actually do whatever kind of thing I want. But the difference is the reason they were bullying me is nothing to do with it's nothing to do with you. You can be an absolute, think about like, people like Lil Uzi Vert,
Mhm.
and he's a weirdo,
Mhm.
but people still like him.
Mhm.
It's nothing to do with who you are, it's because you're presenting yourself as weak, and like, that's
Mhm.
what I changed. I think it would be impossible to bully me now. No one ever tries to bully me. No one ever says anything mean to me. Like, because people just feel a different energy coming off of you, and it's so sad that that's not what's expressed. It's always like, you are good enough, you're all okay, instead of like, just, you gotta like, be a bit, just be a bit tougher and don't like
Well, that's
keel
what it
over.
is. You've got to. It's like biologically, if you were barefoot and you walk down the road and your foot might cut and bleed,
Yeah.
and then if you continue wearing no foot, your foot gets tougher. Do you know what I mean? It's just like that. Like, people are born into this world complete. Like, children
Yeah.
are completely like sensitive.
And that's one thing. That's
quiet,
one issue with
everything.
the world at the moment, is that they want everything.
They
They
throw
want you to be a
everyone in the
they want you to no. They want you to be a victim. They want
Mhm.
everything to be the worst thing in the world.
Yeah.
Like my parents, they for a bit they were like, oh my god, this is so bad, this is so sad, and they kind of just gave up about it.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, whatever, let's just see if he figures it out. And the second I was always supported by my school and supported by everyone, and all these like, whatever, like, oh my god, no, Sean's upset again.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of people were just like, well, what are you gonna do? And the second I thought, what am I gonna do? I can't live like this anymore. I changed and
That's what I
and
did.
became
Yeah.
and that's what they should be promoting.
Because-
They shouldn't be
yeah.
making you, because I already feel like a victim. Don't tell me
Yeah.
I'm a victim. Tell me I'm a champion, and I
Yeah.
made myself feel like a champion, and then everyone treat me like a champion.
Yeah. Yeah, I went through a similar experience in terms of like, I'll cut this out, but
You just pause it.
yeah.